Hey everyone, and welcome back to our Traveling Couple Wisdom segment. Today, for the first time, we have a couple from two different countries.
We know you have your own YouTube channel too. We'll link it below with the video with a lot more detail. But just give us a short introduction, who you are, what you do, where you are, and where you've been. Short.
Wow.
Right?
Short 20-minute intro.
That's the hard part. Yeah. We met in Los Angeles. We decided to quit our lives there. I did a 7-year music career there, and Catie was a teacher. Yeah. And we just got done with that. I wanted to travel. She wanted to travel. And we decided to make our own company, and we ended up moving to different places, and then we decided to be digital nomads because we were already digital nomads, and it's like, okay, now let's do it for real.
Yeah.
So in Santiago, when we went to my hometown, which I hadn't been in more than 7 years.
Wow.
Then we decided to go for it.
Yeah.
And now we are in Vietnam, and we were recently in Chiang Mai, Thailand. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Exciting.
We're pretty early on in the career. I think like a big shift. We both kind of had these, I guess we should have said like we met as roommates in Los Angeles. So when I was looking for a place, that's when, I went into an apartment with him and another roommate, and we dated like a month after I moved in. It was pretty quick. And then ever since then, like pretty much because we've always been living together, it's been like, there was no period in the beginning where it was like, that I don't want to say honeymoon because we were super in love, but it's kind of like there was no faking it. It was always real. I knew what he was like at the end of the day. He would see me after a day of teaching, so it's like, it was always very authentic. And I think where we made the shift is we both kind of grew up in very traditional families. And so we had like this feeling like we didn't quite fit in where we were from, and we're both very curious people. So I think we connected very deeply with that, and we weren't happy in what we were doing. So like he said, like we're like, all right, let's go back to Ohio for a little bit and figure it out. And that's where we kind of worked with, actually he became our business mentor, but he's known me since I was a kid in Ohio. And we started working with him. I was just curious because I'm like, how do we get started as entrepreneurs, and how do we go from being teachers and sound engineers to like online marketers and building our own company? And he kind of took us under his wing and taught us everything about like online marketing and everything like that. And shortly after, that's when we developed the online marketing company. So yeah, we developed it a lot in Santiago, and just recently we kind of started the digital nomad lifestyle officially, like he said. So Chiang Mai, Vietnam, and we're hoping to get to other places in Southeast Asia pretty soon. So yeah, that's the story.
Wow. So how long do you think, do you have a plan, or are you just, going with the flow and okay.
No plan.
No plan.
I think that's the nature of who we are, and that could be an advantage, and it could be a disadvantage as well. It is sometimes a disadvantage.
Yeah.
But most of the time, we just nail it. I don't know how, but it's great.
It works out. Yeah.
It works out. I don't know how. And yeah, as far as plan.
Yeah, we don't really have one. I think honestly,
I think we have goals. Sorry, I'm interrupting you, but. I think we have specific goals, and that's what we're aiming for. Not really. So that could be the plan, I guess.
Yeah.
That's the plan.
We want to help and inspire other people. We want, through our company, we're helping local businesses with like their online reputation. We want to help other people change their mindsets and be able to live fulfilling lives, so like, those are the ultimate goals. How we're going to get there, I'm not quite sure. But yeah, no official plan. What's that?
If there's a will, there's a way.
If there's a will, there's a way. That's it.
Also, what are your names? How old are you? And what's your company name?
Okay. Yeah, I guess we can start with that. Yeah. So I'm Catie Lehman.
She's Catie Lehman.
Yeah.
I'm Angelo Duran. In our, let's say, our marketing company, which is, we have an umbrella ANC Consulting Inc. is our umbrella
Digital
top
consulting.
of the craziness, and then SEO Marketing Masters is kind of where we put together all the marketing skills and tools that we know. So when we work with clients, we can go under that.
That DBA.
And but we also have Digital Frolickers, which is us being us and to the world. I think that's
separating the work from the life.
Exactly.
Right. And I have my own, of course, mixing brand, like music mixing that I started also doing it online for people. Before I was doing it in person in Los Angeles, but now I'm kind of trying to use the tools that we already know and see how I develop like an online remote clientele to be able to work, because I also travel with my equipment, which is just a backpack and with some equipment that I can do stuff remotely. So
I thought you were going to say a big suitcase.
Yeah. And he's 30 and I'm 28, the age question as well.
So what's one word that you would use to describe traveling together?
Like each of your own word.
Wow, that's a great question.
I would say fulfillment.
Yeah,
Fulfilling.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah, fulfilling.
And I have many words to explain that, but you say one word.
I would agree. Fulfilling. Also, novel, like new would be a good word, because we both really love uncertainty. So I think it's having that uncertainty and that novelty in a healthy way through traveling. So yeah. Fulfillment and novelty, I think.
We have your words, so can you explain them a little more?
Angelo, you said you have like a lot of words. So give us like a little taste of what you mean.
Fulfillment, because traveling, you're going to be exposed to many faces of yourself that you didn't know you had. Mm-hmm. You will face insecurities about not knowing the language. Even though I did live for 7 years in a foreign country, that didn't mean I developed security for other things. Although some people would say, yeah, but Angelo, you have already traveled and you have lived abroad. And it's like every country we've been is like not starting from zero, but you definitely are improving every time.
Yeah, I would say that too. And just like we mentioned before, well, he was in his job, all he wanted to do ever, he would tell me when we first met, it's like, I just want to travel. And it's when I lived abroad in Spain, I got to travel a lot because it's so cheap. I'm sure you guys know, to travel in Europe. So it's like to be able to do that together. And we just decided to, okay, we're going to go ahead and live this lifestyle, and like, we're doing it, whatever else needs development and work. It's like, okay, we can sit there and be like, okay, we are living the lifestyle that we want, which is cool. So it's very fulfilling. And like he said, to be growing constantly, because you're always adapting, and it's like, we really like talking to people and learning about other cultures, and we just like to be always learning from different kinds of people. So I think that's also extremely fulfilling to hear those different perspectives and see that, just to add on to what he said.
Yeah.
And then I would say for like the uncertainty or novelty word, that I don't know if are you guys fans of Tony Robbins?
Yeah.
Okay. I was like, I figured, but he talks about how as humans we have 7 basic needs. And like I mentioned, one of them is uncertainty, and another one actually is certainty. So different people need certain levels of that stability and kind of a little bit, so you can't predict everything that's going to happen in your life. So I think we both scored really high on the uncertainty. So I think, like I mentioned, it's cool to take kind of something that maybe led us to like, that kind of like rebellious path in the past, and like doing unhealthy on certain things, you know, and like we can totally channel it in a healthy way through traveling, because of course when you're traveling it's like, oh, I forgot to, you know, put the travel notice on my card, and you gotta like adapt, or oh, I don't know how to communicate this, you gotta figure out how to do it, you know. And it's like, or oh, we can't find the hostel, or it's pouring down rain when we're trying to find a taxi or something, you know, like it's constant adaptation. So I think that for us, it's like, it goes along with the fulfillment too, because it's a need that we both have. So it's like, it's just an amazing experience.
I think we push it as far as I think we can tolerate it.
Yeah.
Because otherwise we would plan more, right? But I think we can't do it. We're always in the edge of uncertainty.
Yeah.
So
very tight beats.
That's and again, the fulfilling part is getting to meet people. I think that's really cool, walking around the neighborhoods and just getting used to the smells and just everything. I think that's, many times I tell Catie, like, do you imagine it's a Monday, right? Where it's a Monday, and I tell Catie, do you imagine the Monday of the rest of the world? Yeah. Or the Monday of most people, and now we're here in Vietnam. Usually having a mango smoothie outside and drinking condensed milk coffee that is delicious. And it's like, can you imagine other people's Mondays or Wednesday, or even the traveling we've been doing for the last 4 to 5 months? It's like 4 to 5 months in a work schedule of someone that has a job, right? It's like nothing, right?
Yeah.
And in 4 months, we've seen so much and experienced so much that it's like
a lot of gratitude.
A lot of gratitude.
Yeah.
A lot of gratitude. It's no way back, we feel.
Yeah. That's a great way to see it. I like it.
That's what I've been saying recently. It's like, do we have nothing to complain about? I mean, we may have to wake up early for a few hours, but we're done and we get to go be wherever we want to be. It's like, even if people are like, yeah, how do you handle little kids? It's like, what's the big deal? It's a couple hours and I get to live my life. I have nothing to complain about.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah, because it's like you're saying, like you guys obviously prioritize traveling as well, and that's what you want ultimately. So of course every lifestyle is going to have things that you have to sacrifice. So it's like, okay, that's a little sacrifice for the life that you want to live, you know?
Something big. So yeah,
that's it.
No, like you said, can you imagine the life of most people? It's like I don't have the security, so we don't have the security, but we get to have the other part. So it's checks and balances, like you said.
Yeah, that's it.
So what's been one challenge you've run to since you
like uncertainty, but what's been the biggest challenge?
Like somebody we talked to lost their wallet while they were traveling. They got lucky and found it, but something that's happened, like maybe a visa thing or whatever.
How much time do you guys have?
Yeah, I said one.
Bring some beer and keep going forever.
Let's see. I would say, I'll let you answer after. I think the biggest thing has been, with the whole traveling thing and getting our business off the ground, it takes a while to build clientele. It takes a while to financially get to where we'd like to be. So I also think developing a business is extremely mental. So I think going through everything, like you're saying, we like the uncertainty, but wanting the financial stability with a company and to get it off the ground, I think that has been the biggest challenge, is trying to keep our minds in the right place. So, for example, I think in Chiang Mai, actually, we felt really good mentally, and we had a lot of time to work on our stuff. We were recording a lot of videos, and we were talking to a lot of potential clients and working with the clients that we have. I think that was great. And then I think coming to Vietnam has been, I would say, the biggest challenge.
Challenging.
Yeah. Because I think it's extremely important to feel good and to be in a good mindset, to be creative, to reach out to potential clients in in a good way. Because what you put out, you get back. So if you're stressed and kind of like not in a good place mentally, it's hard to work on the business. So I would say so far, at least for me, that's been the biggest challenge. But would you agree with that?
Yeah, I super agree with her. It's challenges every single day regarding the business. It's you make your own schedule and you plan your day. You think that that's the right thing to do for the business. A few weeks of work go by, and then you realize that, oh shit, that was not that important, or we spent too much time here, and we're not good planners either. So, but we come up with ideas. So it's like a lot of trial and error, which has been fascinating, because that's what I hated from my past job. Not my past job, because this is not a job, but the job I had before. Is that so steady, and like I wanted to innovate in the place, and everyone was like, no, we just don't do things like this here. And I'm like, you guys are boring. And here I get all the thrill and adrenaline to just be creative and be my brain like that, right? So but at the same time, you need results, right? It's not all like, oh yeah, that would be cool, and that would be cool too. It's no, we need results. So let's see how we get there. And that's the challenging part. Another challenge I think that we both faced together, that has been one of the biggest ones, was two challenges.
Sorry, we're giving you like 4.
Yeah, that's cool.
The beginning when we met, I have a little bit of a visa issue, and going through that was
a big challenge.
Terrible. Terrible. Because I was how many months? Like after we met, a few months without visa in the States. So that was just terrible. Feeling like that was one of the worst feelings psychologically. It was crazy. We wanted to travel, but we couldn't. If we did, we would, you can come in again, and Catie has family in the States. So it was just so turbulent that I think it's, I don't know, that was challenging like crazy.
And again, goes back to the mindset. So kind of when you have an issue like that, then it wears on your mindset and
your self-esteem. You feel that you're a failure. Everything is terrible. I don't know, just horrible things. And I think the third challenging part was to.
Sorry, guys.
No, it's okay. We can always cut it if we don't like. No.
Yeah.
Edit that out.
We're giving you all the material.
You do what you want.
It would be to adopting this lifestyle, and then going back to our families and kind of telling them what was going on in our careers. And I think we got a huge pushback from everyone. So that was kind of new. That was new. We were not expecting that. We both believed really strongly that our families were very supportive and that they had our best will. And we just realized that they did not get it, and that we had to like take a little bit of distance, healthy distance, and do our thing, go for it. Because if it's not now, it's never.
I think everybody goes through that with their family. We did. Most people do, because it's just not conventional.
It's too new. Yeah.
So the first reaction.
Yeah, maybe you guys went through this as well, where it's kind of like in the beginning. I don't know. But for us, it was like trying to explain it to them. Like, I want you to get it, and I want you to accept it. And then you get to a point where you're like, you know what? It's okay if they don't get it. Like you have that moment where it's like, it is really new. We even explain it to people our age, and they're like, wait, what do you guys do? Like, what? How are you? And so it's we understand now. There's more of like an acceptance with that. Yeah, you have to get to that stage where it's like, it's okay that they don't get it.
Yeah.
So those are the biggest challenges.
Yeah.
So you were talking about the business, how you're trying to get off the ground, how you like uncertainty, you like some freedom. And how is this taking a toll on your relationship? Do you guys fight a lot working together on a big project like this? How do you make it work?
Yeah. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of challenges working, of course, with your partner as a business associate. But I think what's unique about us is that, like we said, we've always been living together. So there's, from the beginning, it was like very intense and very like deep emotionally from the beginning. So I think that really is an advantage for us in working together. We don't take things too personally. Like, we know what makes the other one tick. Like, okay, they're hungry, it's hot, there's a lot of noise, like whatever he's gonna, it's like if he's gonna get a little grumpy or I'm grumpy, like, we don't take it personally. But I would say, yeah, definitely that is an advantage, and just always knowing each other on that kind of deeper level. But probably what's been challenging is that you want to separate them sometimes. So like sometimes we're working, a 12-hour day and just business, all of the, like we're contacting clients, we're working with these people, whatever. And then we go out to dinner and it's like, okay, so for the Google review tool, I think what we should do next is we should reach out to them. And then he's like, okay, so should we do it? And then it's like, all right, I think we need to stop. Like it bleeds into everything. And you have to like physically feel like we need to stop and take a break. Even if we just don't say anything for 10 minutes, like just mentally, let's separate the day a little. Let's go on a walk. Let's listen to music. Let's watch something. But that is a big challenge because of course it's like, all right, let's keep going until midnight and we're going to do this. So trying to, keep the romantic side alive too. And like, all right, let's get dressed up and go out and not talk about the business. And that's been a challenging thing, I would say. But I
think, definitely we realized with this trip that we have been here in Da Nang, Vietnam for probably 4 to 5 days. And I think we realize how strongly the environment impacts us. How strongly it does. So it has poured into our work schedule. It has poured into our relationship. We've been really tense when we go out because, for example, it's extremely noisy and people honk a lot. So it's like you're constantly in alert.
There's no crosswalks.
There's no traffic lights. So I'm not judging the way they live. I'm just saying I'm not used to it. Right? So I'm like this all the time. Every time we go out, I'm like this. And Catie, come here, don't cross, stay with me. And I grab her the arm and she's like, no, just go. And they're going to avoid you because this person in the blog just said, go for it. And I'm like, that person in the blog is not going to pay for the hospital. So it's pretty intense. And there's over 100 degrees of heat and the whole city is under construction. The whole city is under construction. The whole city. So it's like, okay, we wake up, right? We shower and then let's find a place to work. Then let's go have breakfast and bring our laptops. And that becomes like, I don't know, like trying to find a desert. And
we're not dramatic at all.
And then we get to the place finally and it's like, we found a place finally. And then
we made it.
Drained and stressed out and like, you need like an hour to wind down from that. And it's like the environment, right? In Chiang Mai was different. Chiang Mai, we had our space, quiet in the morning, right? No screaming children and honking, right? And I don't know, we had something going on that was peaceful. It was letting us be able to work and have our space. Yeah,
but
a little complicated.
I would say to add on to that, it's like with the environment, you can recognize it's like, okay, there are a lot of factors here that irritate both of us. So it's so it's basically like, we know, okay, you know what, we're heading back to Chiang Mai, and I think that's where we felt in a better mindset. So it's like, you have to recognize when you're in a work relationship that it's like, all right, what's going on in the environment? How do we both feel? And then, okay, like it is those factors right now. It's not, if we get snippy or whatever, it's nothing to take personally. So I think that's the main thing. It is challenging sometimes. But
so are you developing a technique now to help you separate work from the relationship?
I think we're still figuring it out, but I think what has really worked out lately is that in the middle of the day, whatever that time is, about 3 o'clock, well, we meditate in the morning, right? And then just a way to reset everything again after a few hours of work and craziness. About 3 o'clock, we do that again, and you start from zero again, which is really cool. You start the same way you start in the morning, feel the same way. So that keeps it together.
Yeah. And it helps the relationship. So it helps. It helps you think clearly in the business, and it also helps I feel like we are way more like our relationship is healthier when we are meditating twice a day.
Yeah. But definitely, like definitely, I mean, the honking and the noise and the heat, we realize that thing makes us argue with each other.
Yeah.
Like we snap at each other a little more.
Yeah.
And way less tolerant because the sun is like chopping your head like this. But it's funny because then you get to a place that has AC and you get a cold drink and you feel better. Your mind is already like, you're not angry anymore. And it's like
trying to reduce those things that make the other one tick, which they're very similar for both of us. So
extreme weather can definitely make us.
Yeah. So I would say, reducing those, meditating. We do things sometimes that we definitely don't like. If we're in a habit of like 3 or 4 days of bickering, then we sit down and we're like, we got to watch some videos. We got to feel good. We don't let that go on for very long. So it's like, it happens every once in a while, but it's like, all right, like we'll do something corny, like, all right, let's write down 10 things we love about the other one. And then we'll read them to each other, or, let's go on a date, or let's, we definitely don't like to stretch out any bad habits. So I would say that we try and, if we feel like it's going that way, all right, what do we need to change to get it back to a good place? And that usually helps.
So you lived together before you started traveling, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, always.
But then you weren't digital nomads, so you each went to work and then came home. So you had your space from each other. Do you feel like you need that now? Do you miss that? Or are you happy to be together 24/7?
That's a good question.
Yeah. Honestly, it's funny because when we first started dating, Angelo told me, he's like, I'm an introvert, so I need my space. And I'm like, cool, that's fine. I'll be at work. And then if you need your time, just let me know at the end of the day. And it'd be funny because he'd text me at work and be like, oh, do you want to go out to lunch? And I'm like, oh, sure. Like I wasn't expecting. And then he'd like pick me up after work and like, he'd be like, oh, do you want to do something? And I'm like, yeah, but do you need your space or anything? So it's like, it's funny, these things that maybe like we think, okay, I need I don't really need that much alone time. I just need to listen to music. That's like how I recharge. But I think because we've always been together, and even though I would go to work, it's like we've always been living together, and it feels weird when I'm not around him, actually. It's like, I know it's corny, but it's, like we're so used to being with each other that I don't feel like I ever need I need space away from him or anything. If like we said, if it's hot or whatever, like I'll just listen to music and then reset. But I don't feel like I need space. Do you?
I think like Catie said in the beginning, we were very honest with each other. So we set like clear boundaries and like, you stay right there, and
from past relationships,
right. Family, whatever, right? So I need my space because I go to the gym and I'm a sound engineer, so I spend a lot of time mixing and focus. That was me at that time, right? So I don't know. I think I think because we were very honest, we realized that we could talk to each other about anything. Yeah. Even things that were hard, that people sometimes don't address in couples because it's too sensitive. Like money, for example, is a sensitive topic. We address that right away. And goals, see if we had not the same goals, but like the same
ambition
about life. Yeah. And that was in the stage that we were not dating yet, or we were kind of dating. Yeah. So
in the 3 weeks before.
In the 3 weeks. But in those long conversations, you see that you're kind of in the same page. No one gets weird when the other one, establishes boundaries or has some strong beliefs. No one, you feel comfortable. And then I think it's been pretty easy after that. I think the beginning was just a little convoluted. Each one of us has had really strong beliefs. We were like people that believed in something, even if it wasn't working out, we would believe those things. But
since we were so similar, it's like, okay, from these bad experiences we had in the past with bad relationships, like, we need to make sure that everything's right. Equal and blah, blah. And then it's like, well, yeah, duh, so yeah. That once we connected like super deeply like that, then it's like the rest was pretty easy, I would say. Yeah. The rest, this thing is, the business and stuff, it's very manageable. Yeah. So I definitely think with space, we don't. Not much space.
No space. So yes, a strong basis. Strong basis.
Are you guys the same way?
Yeah.
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 It's like for me, I'm more like you, Catie. I was like, I don't need to be away from her. It's like I just need to be like on my laptop, just watching a video or something, and I can zone out, be in my own universe.
That's it.
But it's like for her, sometimes she needs me to be in the other room. Not like you go across town, just like she just needs to a quiet space.
Yes. Yeah.
That's interesting.
But it really helps to be just honest at the beginning, and then.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like that in all my relationships. The first one, just like from the beginning, I feel like being honest with her. I don't know why. It's like if I can't tell her, I don't tell anybody. So it's like even my best friend, it's like I would tell you that, but if I can't tell her, I can't tell you. Sorry.
Yeah. Honestly.
Yeah.
So sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, just gonna ask, like, how has it affected your intimacy, just switching from separate lifestyle, to 100% work life together? Because we work online, but we don't work together except like on YouTube and stuff. But jobs are separate. But you guys are 100% everything and living together and traveling together. Has it affected your intimacy?
I would say in situations of stress.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's how we know that things are not.
Yeah.
We're not well.
Yeah.
Right. With psychologically, mentally or financially, all of those stresses, or soon to travel somewhere, I guess, or we're not enjoying ourselves in a place. Yeah. That
it definitely does.
It affects it.
And it's extremely important because I think, like I'll go back to saying like what I said before with mindset, but it's like, if you feel good up here, then of course you're going to have a great intimate life, and like you're going to feel good and everything's going to work together. Mm-hmm. So it's once that starts slipping, whether it's because of the environment or because of work stress or something, it's like we have had many times where we're like, you know what, we're too stressed out. We need to just close the laptops and go on a walk and like get, fix that. Because if that's suffering, right, it together, then everything else is not going to be.
Any decision that you take is going to come from that.
Of course.
Bad place.
So it's like constantly, whenever that happens, it's just a sign that like, all right, we got to change something up. So I would say like everything else, it never lasts long. We're always like very proactive, like, all right, what's going on here? Why are we so stressed out? Yeah, we gotta fix that aspect. And usually it's
it doesn't last long.
No,
that's true.
But it's definitely a sign that like, all right, we need to change something up, because you don't want to let any bad pattern or habit stretch out long. That's our goal, is like always make sure, because can you guys hear that?
No.
I think I heard something, but I'm not sure.
Little cars go around, and I don't know if it's like a recording or something.
It's a recording.
Yeah, they have, and
with
they have
like
these,
a megaphone.
they have these little bread things.
Uh,
So we
they
have
have
to
that in,
crack up.
Valparaiso.
Yeah, because it's like we'll just be hearing like "papao." It sounds like that, like "papao." I don't know what they're saying. It's
Everywhere you go, you hear that, and sometimes it drives you crazy.
we crack up. But yeah, to address your question, yes, it does suffer sometimes, but never for long periods, because we know that that's the most important thing, that we are good as a couple, before business, before anything else. So
yeah, I think we're really good at changing.
Yeah,
I think that's a skill that we have. We can change anything, even if it goes against us, against what we believe.
Mm-hmm.
We can be like, okay, let's try this, and this is not working. Let's try this, and that's it. There's no machigo. I think about.
no.
Oh no, but this is how we've always been doing it, and no, we're not those people, right?
You're okay with mistakes in your work life
Yeah.
relationship.
And you adapt to anything that comes up.
Yeah.
Like if it's not working, try another way.
Because I know that Catie gets a little stressed out, for example, if we haven't like gone out and maybe meet other people. I see that affects her.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm okay with that. Like I don't really. I mean, I need that, right? But it's like for her, it's a little more.
Yeah.
It affects her. So to go to a bar or something and hang out and I don't know, meet someone there or something.
I mean, do you guys find too in your relationship that like you are healthier when you also socialize with other people?
Yeah, it's strange. Yeah, because we don't think, and then we just hang out with some people, and then it's like we come back and it's like all of a sudden we're talking.
We
better.
needed this.
But I think, and I know this is gonna sound bad, but I think subconsciously it's like, oh God, we're much more mentally stable than those people. I love you, and I'm lucky to have you.
You appreciate them more.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Whether it's good or bad, like if they're like, if you meet someone and you're like, what in the fuck was that? Or if it's like, even if they're like great, then you feel good from that.
Yeah.
There's like a deeper appreciation for your partner, right?
Yeah,
so
exactly.
totally agree with you on that. Yeah.
Yeah, but she needs that socialization. I think a little more than me.
I grew up in the family of 7 people, so it's like I was always used to having people around. So I think that's why it's more important.
Yeah. And that sometimes we need to go out and eat, right? I know when she needs like to go out and eat, right, and maybe not cook at home.
Yeah.
Right. I know when she kind of needs that too.
Yeah. Talk
to
to other people.
decompress, see other human beings.
And that helps our intimacy.
Yeah. We do go out like in the morning, every morning. We do go out at lunch, but sometimes it's at night that you kind of need the date, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You need to date, and I think that's important too. It's important.
So I have a question about cultural differences, though. Since you're both from 2 different countries, how does that feel?
Like, do you guys find out about each other? It's like, it's like I hate that you do that. I like that you do that. Or my mama said you Americans are crazy.
Yeah, honestly, like what's funny is that I don't think that either of us is like the stereotype of our own country.
That's absolutely true.
So it like we both went to live in another country, seeking deeper answers that our own culture couldn't fulfill, right? So we both had that common experience and that feeling like we didn't quite fit in our so I grew up in a small city in Ohio, so like I just always felt like everything was too small. He grew up in a small part of Santiago, so he was in the city, but we really connected actually with that feeling and how we felt growing up, and that like we were extremely curious, but like things like the answers were never sufficient growing up. So I would say in that way, like like our essences like connect very deeply in that way. Yeah. But culturally, I would say things that are really different are like.
What do you mean that are really different?
With like, for example, with family, it's very different. In Chile, like the family is very in your business, like like this, you know, and like they'll tell you their opinion about everything you're doing. And so and in my family, we avoid conflict like the plague. Like it's like somebody could be doing something right there and like
nobody says it.
Yeah, it's like, oh, okay, everything's fine. You know, it's literally the opposite. So I think that was a big shock for us. I already knew that from like Spanish cultures. Chilean culture is very similar in that way. So it's like I still kind of understood that. But yeah, I would say that's a bit. Do you have other ones too? Like
well, the biggest one is family, and the other big one is definitely society, right? How the American culture is.
Yeah.
That's a broad statement, but
there's so many different,
it's too many people, 380 something million people. That's just too many. And we're on like 17, 18 million. But besides the numbers, because who cares about the numbers?
You're in a business. It's very important, the numbers.
Just one area. Yeah. We're learning that. Lots of zero.
Yeah.
On the checks.
I think, like Catie said, yes, we are not the stereotype of our places. That's one thing. However, we do talk a lot about society and cultural differences, and I'm always talking, but the Americans are like this, like that. I always talk, about, and she talks about how the Chilean society is too, which is more outside and a little bit more communal, I would say.
Yeah, that's a huge difference. Yeah, the States is very individualistic.
Yeah, and comparing a little bit how more individualistic the States are, and how some it's very common to be isolated in your home, in your apartment, and not even knowing who's next to you. Like you can see people frequently and not knowing who these people are and not knowing what they're about. And I think in Santiago, in our short experience there, and also the way I grew up, it's like we got to meet our neighbors very quickly, and hey, let's meet up for a beer, right? On Friday at 7, come knock the door and let's have a beer, right? It's easier. The relationship is easier. It's not a big deal to just sit down and grab a beer with someone. And I think that's what is kind of like, after living in the States for 7 years, I kind of became that too. And then being in Chile, you get that love back again, and it's like, wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And of course, it has disadvantages and bad things in the culture, but which culture is perfect?
To add on to that too, it's, I think, a really beautiful thing about Chile that I actually think is more in line with who I am. Like I feel like I fit more in that culture than in the States. Is like everyone, it's almost like everyone has picked something, whether it's out of survival or a passion, like a job or something, and they play that character. And like the guy who makes the completo, the hot dogs, is like, that's his thing. And like you feel energy from that. Like you walk in and they're like, hey, how's it going? And what do you want? And like you feel, or like the guy who comes to bring the gas, there's like a guy who does that, right? Like it's like, hey, how's it going? Here, do you want a Coke? All these things. It's like very beautiful that like it's just like everyone's sharing the same kind of space. And it's, I would say one thing that I actually don't like about the States is that those things are faceless, so you can, it's awesome that you can get something in 2 days from Amazon, but like you miss the interaction with the guy who brings it, or like the guy in the store who like makes that thing or has been in that store for 30 years, and you have that connection with them.
It's very special. It's very, very special. Because you get exposed to other people and how people, they, like Catie said, they perform that role. So,
awesome.
And she always tells me that I am also a character. So it's of course I think we both have cherry picked what we love about our countries, and we always try to like clean up some stuff that we don't like about our countries in our personalities, and that's the only way that we have been able to like basically not have any cultural differences in you think so?
Yeah, it's honestly,
it
I feel
feels
like
really natural.
Yeah.
Like
you meet in
feel
the
more
middle.
similar than more similar than different, honestly, which is crazy. And like he said, like he likes things from the States that like, and I like things from Chile that you know, we kind of have the same complaints about the other culture.
Yeah.
But
we just cherry pick what we like. And
you make your own version.
Yeah.
That's it.
Catie, do you speak Spanish?
Yes.
Sí, tiene que decir.
Yeah, vale. But it was another thing that I didn't study. Well, I studied like 1 year in middle school, 2 years. It's like 0 because like I also took French after that. I don't remember anything. It was like when I moved to Spain, I was like, wait, is this a language with the like apostrophes? So you don't like like, no, that's French. I'm like, okay. So I learned it from speaking to people, but yeah, I had to kind of relearn it when I went to Chile. It's like another language.
Chilean is another language.
Chilean is another language.
I studied
I learned Spain Spanish.
She lived there for years.
Spain Spanish.
I was lost.
It's more like you use a lot of your own words. Like it's normal Spanish, but you have like cachai and stuff. You just have your own little.
And weon for everything. Weona. But it's after a while, and they don't say their S's. So that was hard because like in Spain,
Gracias.
Gracias. So that was a big one. Like when he first brought around his Chilean friends, I was like, what in the hell are they saying?
That's what I thought too. What are they saying? I don't know what they're saying. I couldn't even understand. I was like, all right, this is because when go ahead. When I came after 7 years, right, in the States, you get to hang out with Latin American people, Spanish-speaking people from different countries. And I think I came back to Chile with a really boring Spanish, like very like generic. And
it's like an average probably of all the different ones.
Like in advertisement, you know, and they try to use like the most bland Spanish. And I go back and my friends were going nuts, like with these words. And I'm like, I'm missing out. I need to catch up.
They'd ask him where he was from, like everywhere.
Not my friends, but
they'd be like, oh, where are you from? Or like, you know, like if you talk to someone new, because he's like, oh, do you know the history of it? Like asking questions and like, oh, that's cool. Where are you from? He's like, I'm from Santiago. So his Spanish definitely changed, but
it changed. I mean, I was still Chilean, but I didn't have that extra song.
Cachai.
It was cool to feel that and having to explain to Catie how in the world that word made it to the Spanish language and laugh about it. And it was really cool. It was a great experience.
I like it.
Let's go back to something.
Let's do it.
You guys are awesome. Thank you for being on today. And before we head out, can you let people know your social media, how they can reach you, and then if they're interested in learning about your business, where do they need to go?
Yeah, sure. So for our travel business, it's Digital Frolickers on Facebook and on Instagram, and _.
Digital _Frolickers. And
And then for our business, we specialize in online reputation management. So if you are a local business, that's what we specialize in. And improving that, we also specialize in SEO. So if you need any help with that or your website, we're able to do that.
We can get you all the reviews you want, organic. Come to us.
Yeah.
And you also have YouTube, right? What is the name?
Same.
Digital Frolickers.
Digital Frolickers, which is a mix of, I don't know.
Mindset training. We talk about meditation, traveling, how to start your own business, a bunch of fun stuff.
Fun stuff for sure.
Yeah.
Fun stuff.
At least you'll be entertained.
Yes.
We can guarantee that.
You will be.
So if you have some more questions for them, go to all that social media to ask them. Also comment below. And if you want to ask more stuff, we'll get them back on again. We'll find them in Asia somewhere.
Yes.
So thank you again for being on, guys. No, you were saying?
We thank you also for the time. I mean, I've had a great time talking and meeting you guys. I don't think we have done this before.
No, this
like
is
meeting someone over the web, and that explains the power of the internet and how we can make great things out of it and not just negative stuff, right? We can also connect. We can also do great stuff and hopefully meet you guys in person one day. That would be awesome.
Very honored to be a part of your projects. Really cool. Really
we
cool
appreciate
stuff.
that. Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah.
Well,
I hope we brought something new too.
Oh, you did. You gave us plenty, more than we expected. We didn't even have to ask many questions. You just gave us all the answers.
We like to talk.
No, it's a good thing. It's a good thing.
Yeah, but thank you.
All right, so if you want to find them, let us know. Find them, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.